I had not done anything really to address my drinking problem, apart from try to get more willpower. I'm just not going to drink before 12 o'clock. No, I'm not going to drink before 5 o'clock. Well, I'm only going to have one drink. No, all of these different things, but nothing was able to break the grip that alcohol had over me. And this particular voice, though, I still hear it just to this day. This was decades ago. That voice helped me to get the courage to go through the doors into an AA meeting.
Psychedelics are said to shift our fixed perspectives, giving us a bird's eye view of our own lives and helping to remove the lenses of cultural, religious, and social conditioning through which we are taught to see the world. They are being used therapeutically and somatically to treat depression, addiction, PTSD, and trauma, and many are using them to explore the ineffable, those unknown realms of consciousness and beyond. Join us in Adventures of the Psyche as we learn how psychedelics have transformed people's lives. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures of the Psyche. Today, we are joined by Deborah Parrish Snyder, aka Tango, who shares how ayahuasca illuminated her dependency on alcohol and taught her of the great power we each hold within. Deborah is the co-owner, publisher of Synergetic Press, which has published over 40 books in ethnobotany, psychedelics, biospherics, consciousness, and cultures since establishing it in 1984. She was on the team that designed and built Biosphere 2 and started the Biosphere Press. In 1999, she moved to Synergia Ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where the Institute of Ecotechnics was formed, on which now she is currently a director and vice president of.
So I'm from Illinois. I was born in a town called Normal, Illinois, and I had a picture perfect upbringing. Wonderful family, great parents, middle class. I didn't want for anything. I felt that whatever I wanted to do in my life, I would be able to do. For some reason, I didn't feel like what was there was what I was looking for. It wasn't in my backyard. It wasn't in my state, and it really wasn't in the United States of America. So by the time I had graduated from college, I was buying a one-way ticket to France. Now, in the meantime, I had been very active socially. From 16, I started to drink alcohol. Got my first fake ID, was the life of the party. And of course, I went to France because they have really not only great people, great culture, great language, but great wine. So wine, cheese, chocolate, that fueled my life for about a decade after I left the United States. I abandoned my culture in search of something more exciting or different, anything that was different. And I found it. It was a fantastic adventures for a decade. I met up with a group called the Institute of Ecotechnics that introduced me to a panoply of incredible thought leaders and pioneers in exploration and art and culture and psychedelics and ethnobotany. I met Richard Evans Schultes, Albert Hoffman, John Lilly, Thor Heyerdahl, Bucky Fuller, Aurelio Pecci. My mind was blown open with the content of thought that I was exposed to. And I formed a publishing company called Synergetic Press in 1984 to start to bring out some of these works that were by the authors that I was meeting in the context of this community and the conferences that they were having. And so Richard Evans Schultes was one of my first authors that introduced me to the lore of the Amazon. I published a book called Where the Gods Reign, and a second book by him called The Vine of the Soul, both of them, the second one being largely about ayahuasca. And by publishing these books, I learned about these whole fields of study, the biosphere, ethnobotany. I was still, however, a very energized entrepreneur, fueling my ambition with alcohol. So I was only held back from achieving really what I was after. I think because of this crutch, this dependency, that I really would not accept as a problem until one year, a friend of mine wrote me a letter telling me in no uncertain terms that I had a problem that was affecting not just me, but others. I didn't accept that truth for a few years. And I continued to drink and I concealed my drinking. And at that time, I realized that it had to be a problem because it wasn't right what I was doing. And it was inconsistent with my deep understanding about what a healthy life was about. Yet I could not, talk about a blind spot, I could not accept that I had a problem that really needed to be addressed. So one thing led to another, and I found myself with a cup of ayahuasca in my hand during that period of time. And I had a handful of experiences that helped me to see the reality that was going on in my own life with this dependency. The first opened up pathways. The first experience, bottlenecks, blockages, understanding that there's another realm of existence that we can tap into. The second experience led me to understand that there is that human evolution is in our DNA, and that the wilderness and contact with our evolution can be made, and that the cosmos can also be contacted through this tool. And the third experience was the most revelatory and relevant to my dealing with the problem of alcohol dependency, because I actually had an experience, I had a conversation with a lady of the vine. So by this time, I was well and truly comfortable with wine as my substance of choice. I would have been very happy if it had been hooked up on an intravenous drip, and I didn't have to be bothered by going out and finding another bottle. So it was just flowing through my veins, through my bloodstream, on such a basis that as I sat in this session, in this ceremony, this young woman that was, she appeared as I have a visualization of her while she was inside my body, lying on one of my organs, talking to me. And I was thinking about this dyad that I had going between drinking white wine and being in control of my life. And the voice of the lady of the vine was just like a little fairy almost. She's screaming at the top of her lungs saying, "What do you think that you're doing?" And I had to just sit up and listen to this voice and say, "Whoa, who are you and how did you get there?" And not only that, she seems to know something that's probably really happening. And so I had a little conversation and I said, "Well, it's really not a big problem." And she's like, "Yes, it is." And it's like, I felt like this was a big wake-up call, in the sense that I had not done anything really to address my drinking problem, apart from try to get more willpower. I'm just not going to drink before 12 o'clock. No, I'm not going to drink before 5 o'clock. Well, I'm only going to have one drink. No, all of these different things. But nothing was able to break the grip that alcohol had over me. And this particular voice, though, I still hear it just to this day. This was decades ago. That voice helped me to get the courage to go through the doors into an AA meeting. And I'm emotional about it because it's still a scary thing to do. But I kept having at least the voice of the woman in the vine, and I knew that there was something important that made me have to take those steps to walk through that door. Because, speaking vines inside of you don't happen every day. So I respect the medicine for being a diagnostic tool, in so much that it's different for every person, and that it is a microscope that is pointed onto whatever it is that's going on in a person's body or psyche that needs to have attention. So it gave me the courage to, or the, the definite instructions that this is what I had to do. And it took me a number of years to quit drinking. It's been 7 years now. I am very grateful for that institution, but I could not have gotten through the entire process of acceptance and serenity in that knowledge without having the insights and the illumination that I had on my own inner life and my own inner journey. That was, for me, what is referred to as a higher power, but it's not something that was outside of me. It was inside of me, and it really did inform my my work within the 12-step program of AA to help to be able to navigate. Gave me the data that I needed to, really have that faith and acceptance and understanding. And because I could not accept that there's some greater power than me that's outside of myself. Frankly, the power that was greater than me was inside of myself, in that voice that emerged in my psyche and my consciousness. So however you get it, wherever you get it, if it comes from, some kind of spiritual enlightenment from the outside, it's all good, because whatever works is what's necessary. I have been able to continue with a practice of self-exploration through different opportunities. I think it's an ongoing effort to continue to look for bottlenecks in a person's psyche. But thank God I was able to remove those chains of dependency on alcohol, because I would not be able to do the work that I'm here to do today.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Working with AA, who technically doesn't endorse the use of psychedelics, and then on your own working with psychedelics and kind of having to keep it secret, how did you navigate that? What was that like for you?
I decided that I would not intrude into the AA program format with observations that made it clear that I was having some kind of an experience with psychedelics. Yet I tried to find a way that I could share my epiphanies, my realizations in the meetings about awareness and of self-observation with others, so that I could try to give a hint that there's a way to find some powers inside oneself. And I think that the opening today in psychedelic psychotherapy is returning again to offer these tools for potential for healing of addiction in this space. But I still give a huge amount of credit to the AA program for having continuously for over 50 years or more, decades, to be able to give some kind of support, life support for people that are trying to stop drinking. I think that there is room for a synergy to emerge for those people that do have interest in discussing psychedelic use in their recovery.
For those of us who are attempting to understand our own blind spots, and not everybody's ready to dive into ayahuasca or has access to it. Is there any insight you can see now that you're more on the other side that can help folks on their path?
The idea of inner exploration is like an expedition. You're going inside to explore around. And it's important for me to know why I'm going in to look and take a flashlight and look around and be open for what I might see. This is, it's part of, I think, a healthy life to be able to go in and do some maintenance, because blind spots are many. And I think while I may have removed one, I did remove one gigantic blind spot, I know that there are many others. So this is an ongoing, a life's work